Okay, here goes my first attempt to provide a little bit of inspiration to our upper room Bible class through this COVID-19 event. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord our God will be with us wherever we go. I will be using YouTube for delivering short daily devotionals to our Bible class that I hope you find encouraging through this time of social distancing. Social distancing is difficult for me because my individual personal space has always been pretty small. I like to hug and I like to shake hands. I like to rejoice with those who rejoice. I've even been known to weep with those who weep occasionally. But it looks like it might be a long time before we return to an environment where such closeness is considered acceptable again. The YouTube videos will each be 5 minutes or less. Undoubtedly, we all hope and pray the coronavirus crisis ends quickly, but the end is likely further down the road than any of us would want. I'm sitting at the desk in my study, and I have my phone propped up against the lamp on my desk. This is a very low-cost production, so do not look for any bells and whistles or elaborate special effects. In fact, don't even expect me to attempt any edits of the video. What is recorded is what will be posted. I hope you received the recent email from the church stating that we plan to follow the CDC protocols. The protocol or guideline currently states no public gatherings of greater than 10 people for the next 8 weeks. Based on this guideline, we are projecting no church services physically at the church building until Sunday, May the 3rd at the earliest. We will all miss that. It'll create a void, an emptiness. Every one of us will feel that void with something. It needs to be with prayer, with thoughts about the greatness of our God, with an increased appreciation for God, that God is in control. Okay, so much for the upfront house cleaning comments. Now a short message. As we reflect on things going on in the world today, we must remember the real God, the God we have been studying the past few weeks in Bible class, is a good and gracious and loving God, and He is in control. I find encouragement in Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. I believe this message, declared 2,600 years ago, applies to us today. Jeremiah directed this letter to God's people who were in exile in Babylon. Some translations use the word thoughts instead of plans. Reading the passage that way, it reads, I know the thoughts I have about you. Does it make you feel special that God thinks about you? Well, if it doesn't, it should. Psalm 139 says, How precious to me are your thoughts, God. How vast is the sum of them. Were I to count them, they would outnumber the grains of sand. God has not turned His thoughts away from us. He is there. Even when we are asking why, even when we are asking how long, even when we are dumbfounded and confused. Let's all rejoice in our salvation and commit to live in this fallen world, but never, never, never become a part of this fallen world. Live each day to the glory of God. When you lay your head down on your pillow tonight, pray for God to give us strength to survive, patience to endure, and wisdom to defeat COVID-19. Pray for the physical and spiritual health of people the world over, and pray especially for those on the front lines, doctors, nurses, first responders, and pharmacists, the workers in the other essential service areas, the older people who are in the more vulnerable categories. So, until tomorrow, peace to all. Do a little bit of good wherever you are, It's those little bits of good added together that overwhelm the world. Thank you, and look forward to the future.